guys, I'm gonna do another recipe. Got a lot of training this week and I'm gonna need some on-the-go fuel. So we are going to break out the food processor here and get to work on some energy bars. All right, first thing I'm going to pit and roughly chop about 20 dates. So this is gonna give us a lot of natural sugar, a lot of natural carbohydrates to fuel our bodies. Definitely make sure that the pit is out, otherwise it's going to be a little crunchy, not very fun to eat. So about 20 of these, you want to give them a rough chop because that's just easier for the food processor, then it'll make a more smooth bar in the long run. So I've got my dates in the food processor. I gave them a quick whirl just to get them chopped up a little bit extra before we start adding the other ingredients. Now I'm going to add in about a cup and a half of gluten-free whole oats and get those in there, and then just give it another whirl, start to break it down and pulse it together a little bit more. Next we're going to add about a tablespoon of coconut oil in with the dates and the oats. Next I'm going to add about a half cup of shredded coconut in there, give it a lot of flavor, and again, stick with that coconut oil. The coconut fats are a lot easier for the body to digest and put into immediate energy. So for athletes, for fueling my busy athletic weekend, definitely want that medium chain triglyceride in my diet. So you can see the mixture is pretty crumbly right now. Even pick a little bit up so you can see. We want it to hold together really well, and it's not quite doing that yet, so we want to add a little bit more of a liquid. So this is just a little brown rice syrup, and you just want to do maybe a tablespoon and a half. So that's just going to give it a little bit more sweetness to fuel our activities, and then give it a little bit more of a binder to hold it together and make it stick into that bar or ball shape that we want. This is the mixture now that I've added the brown rice syrup. It's a lot stickier, it holds together much better. So this is the base. Now we're gonna add some of our special supplements and our flavoring ingredients. Since we want these bars to fuel a really active weekend and to promote our sports nutrition and our performance goals, I'm gonna add some extra ingredients. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this grass-fed whey protein. I love this stuff. It has a nice vanilla flavor. It's very pure, very good quality. Do a little bit of vanilla for flavor. I'm gonna add a little bit of this salt because of course our bodies are gonna need sodium. We're gonna be very active. We want these bars to replenish and fuel us, so definitely need those electrolytes. Red maca, so this is going to be really great. You can see here potassium, magnesium, iron, all the trace minerals that our bodies really need. So a scoop of that's definitely gonna help power us through our workouts. And then I've got some collagen peptides here. I'm gonna put a scoop of that in. That's just gonna help keep our joints really healthy, while we're fueling to be active. Okay, so I've got all our special ingredients in there, so hopefully we've got a good balance of natural sweetness from the dates, from the brown rice syrup, got a little bit of protein, not much. We don't want these to be protein bars, we want them to be energy bars, but a little bit of protein will help sustain us, keep our satiety in check, and help rebuild muscles for long endurance events. Again, the collagen peptides for our joint health, the red maca for endurance, strength, and trace minerals. Got our salt for electrolytes, a little vanilla for flavor, and then, I already mentioned the protein, but this is just another shot of the brand that I like to use the most. So now I'm just gonna pulse all this together and see how our mixture is forming up after this addition. So I've pulsed together all our special ingredients now, and you can see the mixture looks pretty crumbly, but don't let that fool you. It's actually what we want. So to test out if your mixture is, done in the appropriate consistency, reach in, grab a handful, and start pressing it together. So we want to make sure that we can form a ball, and we can pretty easily. It's sticking together fine. We can, move it around and smush it a little. It's not completely falling apart or crumbling. The more you work it, the more the oils are going to be released, which is a good thing. You can see it's already holding together much more nicely. So that's what we want. Otherwise, it's too oily and then it kind of feels melty in our pockets if you are putting this in your bike jersey or if you're, taking it to go with you in the car. We don't want it to be melty and oily and gross. This is definitely the consistency that we're looking for. Dump the mixture out onto some parchment paper and then just start kneading it. So really just start pressing it together. Make it just form into a nice molded lump here. You can see it's all sticking together really well, and you don't have to be worried about how crumbly it was, because the more you work it, the more those oils are released and the more it's going to stick together. Easy way to do this, you could definitely roll it all into a bunch of balls. You could press it into a pan and cut it, but I'm going to show you my favorite way to make these energy bites. So we're just going to roll this into a log inside the parchment paper. So pretty simple. We've got a nice even log here, and we're just going to roll it up into the parchment paper. Just get it nicely secured, roll it up tightly, and then place that in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. So it's been about 30 minutes. I'm just gonna grab our log of energy mix here, and we're gonna go on to the next step. Just bring this on over, and we're going to unwrap, and look, this is really a perfect log. It's held together nicely, the consistency is perfect. So that's exactly what we want to see. If it's not, you can always leave it in the refrigerator a little bit longer if it needs to firm up more, but about 30 minutes should be good. And then all we're going to do is start cutting it into about 1/2 inch thick slices here. Let's take a look before we get on to the rest of it. Perfect. It's holding up nicely. This is a great size to fuel as a snack. You could put this in your lunchbox, or you can put this in your kit jersey pocket to fuel a ride. It's nice and thin and not bulky, not too large, so you can take a couple of these and really eat as many as you feel like you need, instead of having a large bar or a round ball, which I think tends to get a little lumpy in kit pockets. So this is definitely my favorite shape to go for. So just cut the rest of the log up, and then we'll go on to the next step. So I really like to use these little portion Ziplocs. So they're ideal for putting energy bars in. They're also like the perfect size for your jersey pocket for a bike kit. So really ideal to have some of these on hand and be able to put your fuel in them. So I'm just gonna put 2 in each and then pop these in the fridge, and I'll be able to pull from them whether I'm out riding my bike or if I'm just needing a snack to put in my purse, if you needed, a snack to take for the office, for a long day, for a hike, anything. These are really great for fueling. So just package them all up, pop them in the fridge, and then you've got a good week to eat them.